Alright, this piece of equipment here is the Browning Shock and Awe Tomahawk from their Black Label line. It is 1055 carbon steel. The total length of this hawk is only 10 1/2 inches. The length of the edge is 2.6 inches, and the length of that back spike is 2 1/4 inches. Oh, and the overall weight on this is 1 pound 2 ounces, which is actually very heavy for the short length of the hawk. Basically indicates it's very thick and solidly built. One piece all metal construction, and then it just has a paracord wrap to give you better grip on the handle. Alright, let me give you just a little close-up views. You see the black finish on that, the edge. You see the construction. Like I said, it's extremely thick for such a short hawk. Show you the geometry there. The back spike, which is fairly pointed. And this is made in Taiwan. Alright, their new Black Label line, basically budget tactical blades. Here's the, you got an impact point here, lanyard hole, and here is the grip that it comes with. They say it's paracord, right? And it does give, it reminds me of a, the wrap on Japanese Tantos. It does give a good grip. It wouldn't be the most comfortable thing for prolonged use, but as far as a combat situation that would last only a few instants, that's what you want. You want grip. Alright, let me just give you a bunch of size comparisons, because I know I said it's 10 1/2 inches, but you might not understand how much this is really a miniature or a mini hawk. It's hard to even call it a Tomahawk. The top hawk is the SOG Fast Hawk, known in itself as a miniature hawk, and the Fast Hawk noticeably longer than the Shock and Awe Hawk. Now let's put the Cold Steel Trench Hawk. Alright, so now I think you're getting how tiny, well, alright, I don't want to say tiny, but let's say compact, alright, more tactical word. It's a compact hawk, but basically, yeah, make sure you know what you're getting. It's a miniature Tomahawk. A few more size comparisons. This is a Ontario Pilot survival knife. It's meant to be compact so that pilots can have it in the cockpit. All right, now let's just compare it. The Browning Hawk, it's almost as short as a pilot's knife. I've got many folders. This is a Cold Steel Espada large. I've got many folders that are overall length longer than this Tomahawk. Alright, looking at the sheath of this hawk, this is made by Blade Tech. It is molded polymer, right? And it has these facilities here to put on your belt or your web gear. Basically, you see that part there? You can stretch those, right? And those rods go into right there. Alright, secures it to your belt. And then there's a sticker there. Alright, and then this little part right here, which pivots in order to free the hawk, right? You just move that there. Alright, and to put it back in, you kind of start with that part first, right? The spike part first. And you put that back there. Alright, and it even comes, in case you're a little bit slow, it even comes with this whole set of diagrams, and all this basically says, it's kind of funny, all the diagram basically says is that when you push this out of the way, make sure that your finger is not right here, because that's where the edge is coming out, and right, yeah, don't be dumb. Now, Browning basically markets this as a weapon. They do mention you can use it to make kindling at a campsite, but most people I know that like camping would probably, if they wanted a camping hatchet, they'd use one that's longer than 10.5 inches. And they also mentioned that you could chop your way out of a downed aircraft, you know, a military type, an extraction tool or a rescue tool. I could kind of see that, but again, I mean, it's miniature, it's small. But all right, I'll give them that one. I'll agree. If I'm trying to chop my way out of a cockpit, I'd rather have this than have a knife of the same length. But overall, you know, I've seen some videos that were put out by Browning featuring this Hawk, and they're clearly marketing it as a weapon. And you know, how do you use it? Well, in the video that I saw, basically they recommended using it with kind of downward strokes at a 45-degree angle from the outside, from the inside, and then upwards at a 45, again from the outside and from the inside. And in the video they were saying, you know, the targets would be the head and the neck. Alright, you know, obviously that's just, you know, the video is basics. The first 5 minutes of the video was just explaining how to get it out of the sheath from your belt. So again, you know, in case you're a little slow, they have a super basic video. Alright, so you might be asking, you know, discussing it as a weapon, you might be asking, when would you use a mini Hawk instead of, say, this is a Miltac Warrior knife designed from input with a Ray Ennis, you know, the guy who owns Entrek. And this is a very, very nice blade. And I show this because it's about the same overall length as this Hawk. Okay, let's talk about finishing moves. You know, the finishing move for a blade, I think you probably know already. Okay, putting it into a vital area. And there are many vital areas on the human body that would effectively end the engagement and end an enemy soldier with a blade. All right, so the finishing move with a blade is some sort of thrust. All right, so now let me ask you, what is the finishing move with a mini Hawk? Well, you know, the only finishing move I could think of would be either a powerful chop to the head or a powerful chop into the neck. It would take a lot more force and precision to finish with this than it would take with this. Alright, so overall, is it a good solid item? Yes. The small size and the focus on weaponry as opposed to it being a tool, you know, to me it has, you know, it's a solid item for what it is, but to me it might have a bit of kind of limited utility, you know, limited usefulness for most people. But you know, I like it for what it is. I mean, it was $60. I feel it was worth that because comparing it to the Fast Hawk, it's definitely a hell of a lot more solidly constructed and built. Just has more heft, more everything. So yeah, I do think it is worth the $60. And I hope you enjoyed the review. I'm out.